Hello everybody, my name is Deepshika and I'm from Quant Masters. Today we have Nisarga with us, who recently got placed at Microchip Technologies as a software engineer trainee with a package of 5 lakhs per annum. So, Nisarga, a very heartiest congratulations to you from the team of Quant Masters.
Thank you.
So, Nisarga, we would like to know a little bit about you and the department you're from and the college you're from.
Yeah. So, hello everybody. My name is Nisarga, and I'm from Bangalore Institute of Technology, and I'm from Computer Science department, basically. So, initially, my view about this all placements and all was quite verifying. There was a lot of confusions going on, what to do, what not to do, what are all are important things to refer and all. So initially, instead of just jumping on to all the topics, I just made a plan before, I stuck to it, and then tried to follow with it.
Okay. Nisarga, I'm just liking your energy. So you're
Yeah,
all set. It feels like that. Okay. So you did all your research before actually going for the placement. How do I go about it and all?
yeah,
So very nice. So you made a plan. So one key takeaway that a student can take from this interview is just make a plan first of all, how you are
yeah.
going to go about it. Okay, fine.
And
So
instead of just go jumping on to like doing something or the other, first you have to ask almost, I have at least asked around 10 people around what to do, how to prepare for it. So based on that, I made a plan, just not because based on my own assumptions.
yeah, very nice of you, Nisarga. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to ask you about the rounds that
Yeah,
were there, and one by one we'll get into the details of each round.
okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's start with that.
Yeah. So initially, my first round was a written test. So there were around like for microchip, there were three types of categories. So first was for electrical engineers, and the second thing was application developer, and the third was
Okay,
software engineer. So I applied for software engineer. In this particular software engineer role, we only had MCQs. We didn't have any coding ground at all. So in the MCQs, basically there were three sections. First is technical and SQL, and some only around 10 questions of aptitude. So here, when it comes to these parts, Quant Masters helped me in the technical round a lot because there were around 25 to 30 questions in the queue. So most of the questions which I attended or I saw was based on related to the C++ core programming languages and DBMS, which was the main part. And then in coming to the aptitude, there were the time related questions, age related questions. And apart from that, there were two logical questions. So in all these, I felt confident to answer all of these questions because I kind of like it was already registered in my mind, almost all the technical round questions. So it helped me a lot. So coming to the second round, there were two interviewers, and I was basically interviewed based on my role. But it doesn't matter which role you're getting, but the main core importance are given to data structures, DBMS, and any one programming language which you should know thoroughly. So I knew Java thoroughly, and DBMS I was thorough with it because I actually personally like that subject. And coming to data structure, I was pretty much confident about certain topics and I wasn't that sure about certain topics. So I usually use a stress before the interviewer asks questions. I used to tell that I am sure, like I am confident with these particular subjects. So I was actually confident with arrays, linked list, and the other queues and stacks. So these were, I told him before itself that these are the data structure I know thoroughly. So based on my confidence level, he used to ask questions on that itself. So this actually helped me a lot to answer very much more better way. And then coming initially itself, they'll ask you which are your favorite subjects. So there itself, I'll stress out on the subjects which I know very well so that it can help me answer those questions. Apart from that, there were few coding questions, like not actual coding, but we have to either explain the code or just the pseudo code. So that also was helpful for me. And in here, the coding was basically like most important. Like for example, there almost everywhere you can see these questions, like such as anagrams, palindromes. These were the
Yeah.
questions that were asked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And along with that, they were asked us more detail about the linked list. So here they will ask you how do you rotate a linked list, how to exchange the numbers, swap the numbers, such kind of questions were asked. And my second round actually went very well. And here, as I could say that when I was taking the lectures, so they were actually stressing on basically these were the questions which might be asked in by the interviewer side. They were actually representing based on the interview, like they were telling us in the Quant Masters how the interviewer might ask. So almost all the questions which they asked were similar to those. After that came the managerial round. There were for it depends upon how well I answer as well. So mine was pretty good. So I directly went to the manager round. So in manager round, they actually saw my how I actually interact with people, how was my hobbies, how do I deal when a certain problem comes. So here I actually thank Himanshu sir because whenever I used to text him and all, he used to like it's not. I used to just send him the normal text such as BC for because and also he used to always tell me that it's not BC, it's BECAUS. You have to tell the full form when you're actually telling a
Yeah.
person and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So such kind of actually even helped me as like and in the job as well, it actually helping me because while I have to write a lot of mails as well. So it also helped me there. And coming to the manager round, it was pretty much chill. They are asked a scenario based questions. If at all you are in a particular company and you have some idea but no one is going about with that idea, what do you do? If at all someone is doing wrong, how do you actually tell them that is not the right way in a very good or a pleasing way? So such kind of questions were asked to me. And
Yeah.
along with that, they asked some general questions on why do I have to join Microchip? What are your aims and all? So a key point is that you never tell you are like you have to tell that you are very like you like to learn, but I don't. It's better you don't tell that you want to, if at all you want to do higher studies and all. It's actually kind of a negative point which they give as what I felt. So when you tell you want to do higher studies, they think that you might drop out of this offer and then you might go. So instead of that, you have to tell that you are willing to learn a lot, but instead of learning from outside world, like going to the schools and learning, I will actually prefer learning from the institution itself, from what work they give, from the experience that I get. I will learn from that. So in this way, managerial round went on. And in managerial round also, I had two people who were actually asking me, are you flexible with the timings? When are you in your best? Like when do you work? When you work, which is the best time that you can afford like that? Are you flexible with traveling? All those stuff were asked. And that's all was the like managerial round. And the HR round was basically just formality kind of thing for me, as they asked, "Are you happy with the team which I have been allocated to, and are you fine with traveling and all because it's in Whitefield?" And they told me about all the. Basically, it was like an introduction to the particular company, like for the introduction to Microchip.
Okay.
So this fourth round was just a introduction, but the main this one was the second and the third round. The round which I felt challenging was the second round because in second round there were few questions which they are used to ask us in a very tricky manner. Like they used to not ask a direct question. They used to add some people in it and add some story into it and
Situation based
yeah,
question. Yes.
situation-based
Situation.
question.
Yes.
Correct.
So
So
giving
they
you
used
a
to ask,
puzzles kind of thing.
yeah. So in that way, like they were very simple questions. It wasn't like very hard, but the way you used to narrate it, they made us think a little more, even though it was a very simple question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, Nisarga. So you gave a huge amount of information. I guess students are going to, get some great key takeaways from your experience. So I would
yeah,
also like to know what was the time duration of the aptitude that the online test that was in the first round?
yeah. It was for 1 hour, exactly 1 hour.
Okay. How many
And
questions were there?
there were 45. And
Mm-hmm.
they actually, I would like to tell about other friends of mine who actually gave for
Yeah,
application
please. Yes.
development as well.
Yes.
So in that particular, they had for 1.5 hour. And in that, instead of plus 45 plus, there were some other questions based on their technical, completely pure technical issue. So mine was a software engineer developer. So based on that role itself, they were asking us the questions. So, and along with that, there was a lot of competition as well. There were around 200 people who had participated in it. And in the final round, there were totally 9 people from a college who got selected in Microchip and different roles. And actually, the nice experience about the interview was that we got to know the how actually what the interviewer expects from us. In the question they ask, they also see that they want something from us, and I could actually know what they actually wanted from their candidate.
Okay. So I think the two-way communication has to be there when you are actually interacting with somebody.
Yeah,
It's not just they are posing question and you are just giving them answers,
correct.
right? You have to create that kind of scenario that you guys actually gel up well,
Yeah.
right? So,
So
and like,
actually, when they even tell you, ask you some questions, for example, like based on the other interviews that I have given as well. So when they ask you a question, just don't jump into solving the question over the coding questions or whatever it is. First, ask, get more, extract more knowledge from them as much as possible. So if at all, for example, a simple question, say palindrome, check out whether it's a palindrome or not. What kind of numbers do you want? Do you want the even set or an odd set? Are they only letters or there are numbers as well? Like in simple way, you can ask so many questions into the like questions, so that it will also help you to simplify your problem as well and get more efficiently or faster the results.
fine. And you also mentioned that it's us who actually drive the interview.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm better in this field, or I know these subjects very well.
Yeah.
You told few minutes before. So I think that also helps uh, a
Yeah.
lot while the how the interview is going to progress forward.
Yeah. So I actually used to never like introduce about yourself whenever they used to tell me to introduce. I used to tell my name, my college, my hobbies, and along with that, my CGPA and like subjects which I'm interested in. So almost I have given around 10 to 15 interviews actually till now. So almost when I tell that, they used to be like, okay, Nisarga, you have told this particular subject you're interested in. So let me ask questions on that. And almost 15 uh, interviews that I've given, they almost asked me questions based on the subjects which I had answered itself. Like I was not that interested in operating system, so I never mentioned operating system in any of my interviews. And I guess it's luck or probably my own confidence that I never got a question on operating systems. So in initial introduction itself, when you tell about what you know and how, like if you're confident about it, they will surely ask questions on that.
Okay. So we would also like to know, like, after how many days did you get the confirmation that you have been selected?
Actually, we got it within 2 days itself. Like the rounds were for it almost took the whole process was for a week. So first round was the same for all. After that, technical round took almost 2 days, and it depends on different people. So almost a week until everyone finished their interviews. We had to wait for the results. So after the HR got confirmed, like you congratulations, you have been selected. That was when we got to know. It was a 1 week process basically.
Okay, okay. So, did you mention any projects or internships in your like CV, and did they ask
Yeah.
you anything about it? Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. I would like to talk. So basically, you have to mention the projects which you have actually worked on. Probably you might have attended the seminars or something like that just to gain knowledge, but you're not so sure about it or probably forgotten about it. So you need not stress more about it, but you can mention it with your resume. But about the projects that I worked, so I didn't have so many projects. I literally had only two projects that I had worked on. So I used to explain it in such a way that, for example, when you take projects, for example, so first you have to start with the initial stage. How did you gather the information? What brought you to this particular idea to be executed? And second comes the how do you go about with your plan? Like what is the time schedule or the Gantt chart or whatever it is that you had to prepare. And
Mm-hmm.
third comes the block diagrams or any diagrams which you would like to go. For example, I had two DBMS projects, so I used to make all these ER diagrams and all, so I could explain that in a very efficient way. After the diagrams have been created, comes to the development phase. How you went about with your development phase. So in the development phase, you can actually first tell about the languages that you chose and why you so chose that particular language. After the language has been chosen, how you went about for a DBMS project, for example, I took MySQL, PHP for connection, and for the front end, I use HTML and CSS. So, in these three, why did you use them? You have to elaborate on that. After elaborating on those particular topics, you have to mention about all the difficulties which you endured during the project creation and how did you like actually tackle them. In this way they can actually get to know how efficient you are in tackling problems on your own. Yeah.
So, what I can gather from this is please put that thing only in your CV, which you are completely sure of, right?
Yeah,
Because they are the interviewers, they know better, right?
exactly.
So, yeah. So, fine.
And also, I
So,
felt like you need not keep a CV which you had come. For example, in seventh semester, you had made in the starting you had made a CV. You shouldn't keep the same CV for almost all your interviews. You should keep updating on. Obviously, you will learn some new things and all. You just mention in it in a separate way, knowledge gained or something like about all the different. Learnings which you had done, etc.
yeah.
So when you mention that, they will ask you questions on what you had done. So I made it as simple as possible so that I'll be asked questions so on the knowledge which I know itself. If at all you are confident upon whatever you have learned, so you can add that as well.
Okay, okay. So, in the aptitude test, was there any like sectional time division for you guys, or there was just
No, no.
overall timeline?
Overall timeline, we
And you
could
could
go
toggle
through.
between the
Yeah,
sections, right?
toggle between the
Okay,
sections.
fine, fine. So, any like takeaways, overall general takeaways for the students who will be watching our videos?
Yeah. So let me tell you, like initially, it is not like so easy. Like you will definitely get sad or disappointed when in the first two companies which I didn't get selected. So you will feel sad and you will start questioning yourself whether you're good at it and what are you even capable for sitting for the placements and all. So, but just keep up your hope. Like with I gave so many interviews, but this actually made me confident on how to talk to the people and all. So you just have to keep your even my one of my sister who is actually now giving placements. Even she's going through the same phase as I am going through. So I could relate that almost everyone will definitely go through the same phase. So you have to keep up hope and mostly I felt that confidence is the key. Even though you don't know stuff, you have to be very confident about it. You don't have to like I don't know this. Let me check or pause for a lot of time and just try to do solve something. Instead of that, you can stay them. I don't know about this, but I have learned something based on this another subject. So if at all they know that subject, they will definitely come back to you with the questions on that particular subject. Even this has happened to me a lot. They have asked me some questions on, for example, Java, a particular concept, seriable classes and all. But I told them I don't know much about it. I am pretty much sure with the object-oriented concepts. So can you ask me questions based on that? So, okay, sure, we can ask you questions on that. They are very much like it's like an interactive session where you can actually tell them what you know, how much you know. They don't actually search for how much you know, like they don't see for the quantity, but they see exactly for the quality of the knowledge which you have. So I told them I don't know about these things. I know about all these object-oriented concepts, and also can you ask me? I know in depth about that subject, so they asked me questions on that.
Okay, Nisarga, it was very nice to have you here to share your interview experience with us. I hope all the students who are watching this video have some great key takeaways uh, if they are preparing for the interviews or any competitive exam, per se. So, thank you, Nisarga. Have the brilliant future ahead and stay in touch, stay connected. Okay. So,
Yeah,
any help, please reach out to Quant Masters. So,
sure.
thank you, Nisarga, and thanks to all of you who will be watching the interview session. Uh, have a great day. Bye.
Bye.